name is Sandra Uko. I'm a leadership coach, speaker, and trainer, a member of the Toastmasters as the Vice President, Public Relations and Area Director, a best-selling author, an IT sales expert of over 20 years, and just recently got gifted the Presidential Lifetime Award. And I'm excited to have a great friend who we are colleagues in the Toastmasters. Her name is Kishiber. She'll be telling us about her business, how she started, and how, our journey so far. So the floor is all yours, Kishibra. Tell us about yourself and tell us what you've been up to in the business world.
Awesome. Hello, everyone. My name is shebraLa'Tash. I am a vision coach, consultant, and a visionary to the visionary. One of the, I guess I could say, the main reasons why I love what I do. I'm very passionate about quite a few things. You remember the question that most were asked when we were a little girl or a little boy, when we were kindergarten, first grade. And the question was, what do you want to be when you grow up? And so I remembered that my answer was a teacher. Now, life happened and I forgot about all of that, but not knowing that based on my experience through life, I was a teacher to my sisters. I was a teacher to my cousins. I learned how to do hair at an early age. And I was always in the space of being a teacher. However, I never looked at being a teacher inside of the school system. And then of course, God turned it over where I became my children's teacher as far as homeschooling. And so I'm sharing that to say sometimes we never know how to get to that particular place. But a lot of times those little bits and pieces are just puzzle pieces leading you to where you're supposed to be. And so here I am today as a strategist. I help individuals take those pieces in life and I put them together. And this is the amazing part. I was not a fan of puzzle piecing, not at all. But now I am. And so I had to do it in my life, and now I do it for others. And so another thing, I am a speaker and also a writer. Two other things that I was not a big fan of, but I realized a thing that I was fearful of became my greatest blessing. And it opened up so many different avenues for me. And so I began as a teacher in those areas. I started to write. And as I started to write, came along my first book. And then, of course, a workbook. And now here it is today. I have my own online bookstore. And now, see, this is a thing. I didn't want to tell my business because you'll find that in my books. But that has been a way that I've been able to connect with individuals, helping them find their story, find their voice in their story. And so not just as a speaker, I help individuals find their voice as well, whether it's in marketplace or business. And so it's something that I am passionate about, something I love doing. And of course, I can make money from it as well. But there are multiple avenues that I have and multiple funnels that I had to create in order for me not to just have all of my eggs in one basket. Am I one when it comes to money? Like, oh my gosh, I'm encouraged and inspired by money? No, I'm not. However, I do know that money helps to make things happen and it moves within the earth. I understand that. And so what I've been able to do is acknowledge what's in my hands, because everything that you need is already in your hands. You have the ability to do it. Okay.
Sure.
And so when I realized that, I took my ink pen and I began to start writing. So that one book turned into multiple journals, turned into a workbook, and turned into another workbook and another workbook. And the only thing I did was take notes and write in my journal of my own journey and things that I've been through, because I want others to know you're not in this by yourself. And because you're not in it by yourself, here I am. Pick me. You don't have to look for me. Here I am, willing to walk with you. But not only that, there's a workbook that I created that you could actually use and we can walk through it together. And so that has been one of the ways as a speaker. And of course, I go multiple places speaking, talking about these different things. I started off as far as consulting, one-on-one consulting as a vision coach. And so that turned into me facilitating groups. And so now is an extension. I started one place and it keeps growing. But one of the things as a vision coach is I was very clear on my vision. Overall, what do I want to do? My mission, How am I going to get there? And so my biggest thing, even my personal value statement for life, is to educate, to equip, to encourage, to empower, and to do it all in excellency. Not because I'm perfect, because God is. And so when I see God in all the things that I do, God has been giving me strategies and new strategies to do just that. And because I'm doing what I'm passionate about, it automatically makes money. And so I'm always super excited, not just about what God has given to me, but what God has given to me as an individual, but yet as a teacher, to be able to share with others as well.
Yeah, would you say that it's been profitable for you to be in this business?
As a speaker and writer, oh yes. Oh yes. Because it's for one, as an entrepreneur, it gives me the opportunity to create this particular space of what I see beyond what others see. So it's not just a job. Even if I'm connected to another community, that's an opportunity. Another community, that's an opportunity. But as an entrepreneur, I have the opportunity to create my own where I want to go. So I can go into schools and speak, right? That's one way to get paid. I could actually speak at someone else's women's conference. That's another way to get paid. And this is a great thing about it. When I go into these places, guess what I get a chance to take? All of my books with me. And so not only me talking about and telling my story, they want to now read my story. So yes, it is very profitable.
Yeah. But before you started that, were you doing anything? Were you working for anyone? Did you work for any company before now?
I have been doing hair since I learned how to do hair at 12 years old by reading a book. My
Ooh,
mom and my aunt was supposed to go to cosmetology school. Neither one of them went. And so
wow.
I learned how to do hair and started doing my sister's hair. They began to be my models. And by the time I was 15, I was making the minimum amount that I was making at home doing hair was $700 a week. That was at home. And so I was in the salon working, I think it was like 2 days a week, nothing under $1,500. So I knew eventually I was a creative. I was in modeling, so I used to make clothes and create clothes. We used to have different fashion shows. So I know that was a creative space there, but I did not know how to access it. So I would actually do it based on how I showed up as far as my own fashion. But that's pretty much have been that particular space. It just rolled over from the hair, it rolled over into fashion. And so individuals start asking me questions. So I start facilitating different events as an event planner. And so everything was creativity in so many different areas. And so then I started getting my children involved. And so when I started getting my children involved, they started asking questions. And so when they start to ask questions, that's when everything started going off as far as me. And so it was no longer me creating a space as far as me, it was creating a space for them as well. So my writings of what I actually share with others are the same writings I can share with my children as an educator. And so going back a little bit, I had a door open. Well, this pastor asked me to run a summer camp. No, I didn't want to run it. I did because I was like, God, you trust me with these 5 children, and I have no clue what has actually happened or what to do. I need some help. But they helped me open up in so many different ways. So I started off as a summer camp, and then it actually rolled over into me being an after school teacher. Then it rolled over into me being a daycare director. So that's how I got into the educational side in reference to the community. And I wanted to be that advocate, that voice for those who are hopeless and those who were voiceless. And so that's how it actually started. And of course, I became more excited. And so I started writing curriculums. When I started writing educational curriculums, I end up having the homeschool part for my children. And so that's where the writing part came. And then individuals started inviting me to speak and share. And this was way before Toastmasters because I felt like I didn't speak well enough. I didn't do this well enough. I didn't write well enough, all those things. And so God allowed me to be a part of those communities to hear others say, you got it. And what God was trying to say to me all along. So all of I had those different avenues along the journey, but majority of my life has actually been entrepreneurship.
Oh, awesome, awesome, awesome. And being able to go through it, that's why I tell people, like there's nothing like having a handiwork, something you can do with your hands. So beyond just
Yes.
working for someone else and making getting your salary or your paycheck, but being in control, being able to, determine what comes in. Because that means if you didn't work, there will be no money coming in. So when you
Right.
work, you get more. If you work more, you get more, which is awesome.
Yes.
Great, 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 great. And
Yes.
how did you sustain it? The tempo. Were there times where businesses were like not coming in and you had to survive? What did you do? Did you have some kind of savings to fall back on, or business was just growing and growing all the time?
Well, let me say this. I know sometimes when we're planning, we most of the time we look at as far as planning having plan A and plan B. I honestly and heartily believe with God is just a plan A. And so with me believing it's just a plan A, that means that I'm not in the way trying to come and bring my plan B. That means my plan A, I expect it to work. Okay. And so since I've started this journey, it has not been a down and up at all. It's been
Hmm.
consistency because I've been in my obedience to God. And so this is not something I wanted to do. Everything I told you at the beginning, these are things that I did not want to do.
You
But
said,
because I knew that what God said about me, I began to embrace. And then I realized that there were things that I didn't know about my own self. So God used something that I was fearful of to reintroduce me to me. And that's the me that He created me to be. So it has not been an up or down in reference. Everything has been steady and it's been going up. We're all going to have those pivoting moments. But when it comes to creativity, teaching, we're going to always have teachers. Like the areas that God has blessed me in, it's always a need for them, always. When it comes to, I'm an inner healing specialist. Someone is always in a space as far as wanting to know, how do I get past this healing space? So there's a space. Consulting, someone is always in a space to wanting to talk those particular ideas out of what they may be going through. As a vision coach, they have a vision, whether it's for their personal lives, as far as their business, as far as ministry, as far as marketplace. There's someone that always need what it is that God is given to me. I just had to learn how to properly package all those particular areas instead of me trying to do all at one time, but to acknowledge that this particular area is for a group of individuals. This area is for a group of individuals. So I know when it comes to my books, who my audience is. Me as a speaker, who my audience is. And has those things broadened? Yes, they have. But I started at the place where God, I tell people all the time that I'm hands-on with God. Like when God give me something, it's not me standing over to the side and do it. God is like, no, here's the ink pen, here's the book. I need you to show up for work. You're like, what? God, I don't get a chance to. He's like, this is you on the job, ready, so you do the job. So I have to learn while I'm there, and it's not because I don't know. It's just because I don't know that I know. But when I start doing the job, I realize, oh my gosh, so I already had these answers. But until God led me to those particular places, that's when I was able to pull all these things together to say, hey, listen, this is not just for me, what God has given to me, this is for legacy. So I
yes,
just recently released a new workbook, and I'm like, that's just not for me. That's for my children. That's for my children's children. It's for my nieces. It's for my nephews. It's for anyone that's connected to my life. And so all of that to say, I honestly believe that with God, we have those moments when we will go through, not when God go through, because God don't change. When we are dealing with everyday life stuff, God hasn't changed. Ups and down, God hasn't changed.
that's it.
God hasn't changed at all. So we
True.
have to get back and reposition ourselves and get back into our, you know, place in order for us to continue to hear what God is saying. But when you're in God, there's no lack. There's no lack.
Yeah. You said it all. We have to get to that place where we need to hear God. Once we are off that place, then there's this connection, just like the phone. When you're in the area where you
Yes.
have good connection, you're able to hear God. And when
Yes.
once you're able to hear God, there's no ups and downs. It's just up all the way
That's right.
because you are in
All the
line,
way.
you're
That's
in
right.
obedience, you're working in obedience. Awesome. Awesome. I think we need to work on that area, every one of us, just to get to know, staying in that posture, staying in that place where we're able to hear God. Because it's like
Mhm.
having a manual that guides you in using a machine. Once you're able to follow the manual, you're able to get the right performance of the machine. So once we're able to hear God, then we're able to perform at our optimal power. Awesome, awesome.
That's for sure.
I want to thank you for your time. It's been a great time with me, and I'm sure with the audience too. Thank you so much for making a time to sharing your story, both your business and your life story. It's been very inspirational. It's been mind-blowing for me. I also want to thank our viewers. Thank you for being on this show. It is said that a leader is one who knows it, who does it, and who shares with the others. If this has been a blessing to you, please go out there and share this link with others in order to be a blessing to them. This world will be a better place if we dare to make a difference. And I want to say thank you so much again to our guests. Thank you so much. I appreciate you, Mom. All right, bye, everyone, and do have a nice evening. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Okay, there, sis. We can go on. Thank you so much for your time. I really do appreciate it. I'm going to edit the video once it's ready. But when I'm going to shoot the first one on Friday, I'll share the link with you so you can share with your friends. And just like Joe Maxwell will always say, who do you know that you think I need to know? What I mean is, I would love to have referrals from you think have great stories to share. So that, what I do is like I network with the people I know to get more people.
Okay, awesome. So do you need me to send you a couple? I have 2 right off.
Now, if you have 2, 3, 4 friends.
You want me to email them to you?
Yes, I would appreciate it. I would.
Okay. I'm going to email you too. Yeah,
yes.
I'll email you too because I want to be obedient. Because when you ask the question, God dropped 2 people in my spirit, and then as God leads, I'll send others over. But I want to say, listen, I thank you so much for this opportunity. I believe that all of whatever tried to happen did not happen. We were able to connect, and I also know that I'm sure there were different things that were trying to stop us from doing that, but we did it. We got past, and I do know that there are multiple reasons why we had to have this moment to sit down and have this conversation. But I am so excited for you. I'm excited. I know this is actually the first part of what you're doing, but I do see it being greater than what it is. So that's what I'm going to release now. As God allowed me, we move forward. I'll release more.
I think
but
I need to connect with you.
For.
No, go ahead. You want me to prepare for?
Yeah, I want you to prepare for more expansion. I just keep hearing expansion. And so, and I see, even with your background, I don't see those walls. There is another space that God is going to allow you to have to do your recordings because of the individuals that he's going to send to you. It's not regular individuals, and they usually don't record with anybody. Okay. And so because God trusts you, and because of your faithfulness to him, and because of your obedience, God is trusting you with these particular individuals. Okay. And so it's going to be a partnership from both ends, which is a great thing for the person and also for you as well. So I could actually say to you, listen, I'm excited for you. I'm happy for you and the things that God actually has in store for you. So continue to do what it is that you do. And that's just being amazing.
Thank you.
Are you thinking of how to publish your book on Amazon or how to get your published book to become an Amazon bestseller book? Dip Insight Books is the perfect in-between solution in transforming your ideas into a book. We can help you with all the complicated parts of publishing, such as process TO transformation. What we do: full manuscript evaluation, receive quality assurance edit, full copy edit and final proofread to remove spelling and grammar mistakes, oversee your cover design, create your interior layout, publish and distribute your book, lock down your marketing strategy. Ghostwriting, where there is no manuscript. Our goal is to help you publish your book promptly. Contact us today at 404-740-9091. Email us at info@dipinsightworld.com. To start the submission process, check us out at www.books.dipinsightworld.com and submit your details. You can visit our Facebook page at Dip Insight World.
If you've made it this far into this video, thank you for watching. And don't forget to subscribe so you can support your girl. Thank you.